Well, I hope you're all pleased with yourselves. Years of crying and begging on the internet, and finally you've gotten what you wanted. Mario Party Online. Seriously, well done everyone. I hope it's every bit as agonising and soul-wrenching as you so clearly seem to desire. You know, we human beings ask ourselves so often whether or not we can do something that we barely ever seem to consider whether or not we should. And never has this been clearer to me than when I sat entirely motionless for minutes on end watching a dice block roll frantically above the gormless head of a Luigi player who just decided to join an online game and then go AFK turn 1. Online Mario Party. Whatever will we do next? Why don't we just give Alex Jones a fucking machete and let him loose on the streets, eh? Hey, you know zoos? Why don't we just open up all the enclosures? All of them, in every zoo in the world, and just let the fucking animals take the world back. Were any of you even thinking when you demanded this? Did you ever take a moment to consider the consequences of your actions? What you've wrought upon this world? You morons! You imbeciles! You clods! Hello and welcome to the world's worst review of Mario Party Superstars, where there's a 0% chance of hearing that something is good, there's a 0% chance of hearing that something is bad, and there's a 50% chance time's gonna fuck me over again, isn't it? Oh, I can't do it anymore. I'm not strong enough! Having lived through a 2-year pandemic and having missed out on every opportunity for teen love due to a series of occurrences so hilariously sad that they feel ripped straight out of a melodramatic children's book, I haven't felt anything in quite some years. Not really. And so, much like the demons Operation Dumbo dropped the Death Note onto unwitting humans just to see what they'd do, Nintendo, as magnanimous as ever in October of 2021, finally decided to throw your boy a bone in the form of Mario Party Superstars, the video game equivalent of a roller coaster powered by lies. For better or for worse, it's impossible to not feel anything during a game of Mario Party. If you get through a game of Mario Party without straining at least one of your facial or vocal muscles at a chance time or a hidden block, then you'd best get back to standing motionless in the corner of a secondary school science classroom, buddy, because you were a skeleton. Mario Party Superstars, however, has been able to evoke more visceral reactions from me than any Mario Party since the 2000s. I'd love to give you some kind of insightful analysis on what this says about nostalgia and the way we're growing and aging with the media we once knew, but it's actually just because Mario Party Superstars is the only enjoyable Mario Party game that's been released since the 2000s. Super Mario Party was shallow and empty and seemed to think that having more characters than one piece would make up for having 4 boards. It didn't introduce online play on said boards until over 2 years after its release, despite online Mario Party long having been hugely requested and an obvious no-brainer for a company who like money, which, hey, guess what? Is every company, especially Nintendo, sometimes, I think. God, I don't even fucking know these people anymore. This is without mentioning that it was released on the Switch, a console with a paid online service. Super Mario Party's ham-fisted too little too late update was clearly shoehorned in at the last minute to help the company prepare for Mario Party Superstars, but that doesn't stop it from being completely baffling that it wasn't there in the first place. Then, preceding it are Mario Parties 9 and 10, which in their infinite wisdom saw it fit to completely remove every player's autonomy and movement by stuffing them together in the same car. This isn't a fucking family fishing trip, Mario Party. This is Mario Party, Mario Party, you idiot! Mario Party Superstars looks to buck the trend by actually doing the things that people have been asking for the series to do for about 10 years. Because, as it turns out, when people ask you to do a thing for 10 years and then you do it, people like that. Actually, I'm glad this is a lesson that's been learned and will not have to be repeated for any of Nintendo's other long-standing franchises. In preparation for the launch of Mario Party Superstars, Nintendo finally decided to clear out the dung-ridden cubicle of well-organised chimps they called an online functionality department and replace said simians with actual human beings. And it shows. I mean, look at this game. It functions. Online. Well, mostly, anyway. And there's achievements and emotes and leaderboards and wow. We could all die any second now. Furthermore, Nintendo also seeks to please the baying crowds with Mario Party Superstars by constructing a game entirely of boards from the original 3 Mario Party games on N64. Games that I didn't grow up with, as I started with Mario Party 4 on the GameCube, but have heard nothing but fond recollections of from those who did. And it's not just fan favourite boards that have been repurposed for this game, but also some of the most popular mini-games from across all 10 numbered games in the series. Usually we decry Nintendo for leaning depending on the past as much as they did for this game, but sometimes you fuck a series so hard, we're left with no choice but to beg you just put a fleshlight in and do it on autopilot. Mario Party Superstars has 5 boards at launch, which is only one more than the incredibly barren Super Mario Party, yes. However, the boon of online play on these boards at launch, combined with the inherent seal of quality they carry with them via their selection process, somewhat makes up for that, I think. As someone who didn't grow up with these boards and is only now experiencing them for the first time via this game, I would describe the lineup as reasonable. Horrorland is my personal favourite among the bunch. I think it rewards skill and map knowledge more than any of the other boards. Keeping track of the day and night cycle and manoeuvring your way over to Boo or King Boo at the appropriate time means you're being prodded to be plugged in more than any other board in my opinion. Woody Woods is similar, with its signpost switching at the end of every turn rerouting players, but with so many event spaces that flip these as well anyway, it can get pretty messy pretty quickly and the map often goes from strategic to blurry chaotic mess in a matter of turns. Spaceland is an inoffensive, if unspectacular board, perhaps most notable only for the sheer amount of times you're likely to be chased by a car, which is a lot. Yoshi's Tropical Island is a welcome injection of fast-paced chaos. It's arguably less skill-based than any other board in the game, owed to its abundance of star-swapping event spaces, but it's Mario Party, and sometimes you leave any pretense of skill at the bottom of a heaving and regrettable bag of Skittles. The only true outlier in terms of quality in my mind is Peach's birthday cake. Mario Party's answer to Monopoly, and I'm sorry to say Mario Party, but no one asked. And as if being bombarded by his oddly chiselled buttocks for so much of the game already wasn't enough, Peach's birthday cake also sees Nintendo continue their worrying trend of assaulting your senses at every turn with Donkey Kong's earth-shattering dump truck badonkadonk arse. Did you know, by the way, that Monopoly was originally invented to be intentionally boring so as to serve as a critique of capitalism? Wow, that sure says a lot about you Peach's birthday cake enjoyers. If only there were a way to consume under capitalism ethically. Oh my god, it's the Fudj Drip department. Yes, you're seeing this right. Fudj Drip! Shirts, mugs, and socks. Obviously socks. This is my first time ever selling merchandise. I've managed to get this little store up and running with some help from my gorgeous little friends over at Patchwork, including the incredible artist Boxic, who made the design on the mugs and socks. I'm going to put a link to his socials and stuff in the description. I think the default prices that were set on the site were quite extortionate, so I've lowered them a decent amount for the sake of my own conscience. As far as hashtag YouTuber merch goes, I think the pricing on this stuff is pretty fair, and if you disagree, then you probably haven't seen a lot of YouTuber merch, because geez. You may also be wondering why the tank top says "This is the world's worst t-shirt" when it's a tank top, and that's because it is in fact the world's worst t-shirt. I mean, wow, that isn't even an actual t-shirt. It has to be the worst. It also describes itself as a women's flowy tank top. I mean, it's a tank top, right? I mean, I think it's pretty unisex. I think you can just wear it if you're a guy as well. I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone, I'm not a fucking cop. You can go ahead and purchase some of your own Fudj Drip at the link on screen that I'll also drop in the description below, and if you do so, that'd make me very happy, because boy howdy, YouTube sure doesn't pay very well when you're not willing to sell your soul. Thank you very much in advance if you do so. Be sure to @ me on Twitter with a picture of anything you buy, and I'll be sure to give you a big old sloppy kiss for your support. Or we can just hold hands instead if you're not comfortable with that. That's a lie, I don't know you, stay away from me, thank you for your money. If Monopoly's monotony is a critique of capitalism, then Mario Party, as a critique of friendship, regularly uses your own friend's foot as an instrument with which to roundhouse kick you in the back of the head. If you're familiar with Mario Party, this won't be a surprise to you, but these games seem to be designed with shockingly Machiavellian machinations in mind. Chance time is perhaps the most terrifying thing human beings can do to one another, forcing players to swap stars and coins between any two participants via a trio of slot machine-like blocks. When a player is losing by a lot, chance time becomes quite literally their only win condition, and it's often represented by only a very small number of spaces on the board. You really think you know a guy until you're beating them in Mario Party hard enough that they go hunting for a chance time like a sniffer dog snooping around for a mountain of cocaine. There's so much randomness in which players can be rewarded for absolutely nothing. Hidden blocks often simply give players coins, but have the potential to grant a star and just completely completely turn the whole game on its head there and then. There are minigames that are entirely random, items and coins given to players in the last 5 turns are random, which player even gets chosen to receive a gift in the last 5 turns is more random than you might think, and then there's the equally malicious boos that could steal a random amount of coins, or, paid enough themselves, can even steal a star from you no matter how hard you dab. To play Mario Party is to understand that everything is meaningless. There is little to no skill involved, you're here to surrender yourself to the underworld lottery. You could win all the minigames, use all the items right and make the smartest plays on the board, and some angry schmuck will stab you right in the tits on the last turn with a chance time and steal it all away from you. This goes tenfold if you have bonus stars on like an actual crazy person and get rewarded for landing on the most Bowser spaces. Cool! My advice for winning at Mario Party is to not win. If you're winning in Mario Party, actually you're losing. You've painted a target on your back and now the rest of your nightmare blunt rotation are about to put the doobies down and get to work on orchestrating your embarrassing and cartoonish downfall. The way to win Mario Party is to remain inconspicuously average for a majority of the game and then hope to sneak a win in the last few turns. You can be slightly less of a societal leech by turning bonus stars onto classic and at least winning through a couple of them. Mario Party often feels more like partaking in a social experiment than playing a video game. Something harrowing and cynical that perhaps too many normies and doe-eyed content creators have interpreted as something fun to be made light of in spite of the blatantly traumatic things it does to its participants. Perhaps that was dramatic. Let me ponder it over footage of this minigame that holds no relevant symbolism whatsoever. But a large majority of these elements of chaos are present in every Mario Party game, so why has this game evoked so much more turmoil from me than, say, Mario Party's 9 or 10? Well, that would be because this game gave me a reason to play it. Beyond online play and fan favourite minigames, there are so many other little things that kept me coming back, at least for a while. Unlockable titles and other purchasable features for your player card, additional modes like Survival that test your ability to win minigames one after another against players online, often in unplayable connection, and even the simple ability to express myself to other players via emotes. Let me tell you, this one single emote is the best design decision in the whole game. The only thing Mario Party Superstars lacks really is more content. I think the game could have used some more unlockable content than the things you purchase in the shop, maybe just one more board and 2 more characters and a few more minigames, I don't know. By the way, if you're adding characters, you should make one of them Nabbit, just because it's really funny. I mean, imagine you steal a star from someone as Nabbit and they get angry. It's like, bro, I'm fucking Nabbit. Staying on this content front, Mario Party Superstars soundtrack, outside of its board theme remixes, is minimalistic, to say the least. I mean, seriously, listen to like any song in this game that isn't just a remix of a board theme. Mario Party Superstars is the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy of 6-second loops. No, seriously, this is it. This is the main menu theme. And were it not for its underwhelming amount of content, Mario Party Superstars might just rest at the very top of the party game totem pole. When I compared Mario Party to a social experiment earlier, I meant that as a compliment. Any party game worth its salt is supposed to come off like a social experiment because that's the point of a party game. It's supposed to weave social chaos. We've all given an answer in Quiplash that went a bit too far and upset our friends just a little bit, right? Well, I guess that's assuming that YouTube commenters have friends, but I certainly have. My philosophy on party games is the more chaos, the better, and that's why I will never get over that fucking car. Of course, we can't talk about chaos without talking about minigames, the X factor which makes or breaks any Mario Party game unless you put all the players in a car, because you can't fucking fix that! As I mentioned earlier, Mario Party Superstars is comprised entirely of the most popular games from the series, or at least that's what Nintendo have told us. What constitutes the most popular doesn't seem to have been decided via any kind of metric or statistic as far as I can see. It seems to just be what Nintendo have deemed the most popular. So how was their judgment? Well, again, I'm gonna say reasonable. A lot of the all-time classics that come to mind when you think of Mario Party minigames are here. Booksquirm, Shy Guy Says, Pushy Penguins, Bowser's Big Blast, it is to Mario Party Superstars' credit that I find myself audibly groaning less at the minigame roulette than any other Mario Party game I can remember, including my childhood favourites like 4 and 5. It is a pretty consistent stream of stuff you can at least get some enjoyment out of at the end of every turn. This being said, the included minigames that totally baffle me have to be in the double digits. I don't use this term lightly, but there is some real cringe in here. Honeycomb Havoc, Rockin' Raceway, Tug of War, and then there's the coin minigames. Oh god, the coin minigames. You could show up to a house party with actual real-life females present wearing an Ahegao hoodie and spend the whole night talking about RWBY, and you still wouldn't suck the air out of the room like a game of Money Belts does. I find it wild that we don't have minigames like Heatstroke or King of the Thrill, but Mario's Puzzle Party is here. Not only is this literally just Puyo Puyo Tetris, but Mario's Puzzle Party? He's already having a party. How is he now apparently having an additional puzzle-themed party at the same time? And furthermore, he doesn't even have to be present in the game. You can play Mario's Puzzle Party without Mario even being a participant. So how is it Mario's Puzzle Party? There's only one explanation. It can only be ludonarrative dissonance. Yeah. Okay, alright guys, this one's a little much even for me. Okay. Mario Party Superstars presents us with answers to prayers we've been loudly chanting for years. It also presents us with just as many, if not more, questions than said answers. How has it taken Nintendo this long to do something that all of their fans said they would like? How has it taken them this long to finally implement real online play in a Mario Party game? How can you get your minigame selection so wrong and so right at the same time? How is everyone breathing in Spaceland? Who gave Birdo a diamond ring? Was it you, B-Stars fans? Yeah, I know all about you. You sick freaks. But perhaps the most important question it does in fact answer for us is what happens when you let people do Mario Party things to each other over the internet. I stole a star from an MI6 agent the other day and have subsequently had to change my name and move house so as not to suffer a mysterious IP hack that removes every trace of me from public databases before choking to death on a cyanide capsule that I could have sworn I didn't put in my Lipton iced tea. This may have been the world's worst review of Mario Party Superstars, but if anyone asks, it may have been the world's best review of Dario's Hearty Supercars by Fudj. Thank you again, Nintendo, for giving me everything I thought I wanted, and then staring at me vacantly as my joy turns to ashes in my mouth. Hey, before I get into my usual post-video spiel, how about that world's worst review of Minecraft, eh? Oh boy, the algorithm sure did randomly decide it didn't like that one. It was a video I was very proud of, but apparently a ton of people didn't see it. It has by far the least views in this series, and I have no idea why, but if you have the time, go check it out, because I think it's pretty good. I'm allowed to say that now, okay, because the world's worst review is over. A reminder that the Fudj Drip Department / merch store is now open at the link in the description, and support on that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you a ton to my Patchwork accomplices for their support on that. I mean it with no hyperbole that I genuinely would not have been able to do it and get it all set up without them. And thank you to my party-loving high-tier patrons. Cheesy Chip, Mike Archer, Mike Craig, Good Chicken, Captain L, Chris Monk, Flashing Fire, Tale of the Toaster, Waldington, Justin Duncan Mills, Heis Van Duren, Super, Isaac Vermeer, The Ghost of Karl Marx in 4D, Isaac, GP, Elliot Joyce, Raven, Boo McCallus, Salad Dinner, The Great Fantus, Fuad Lahoud, Binbag Fan 69, Chedocho, Upscale Furry Trash, Mugbugs, Kinslow TN, Cod DN, Ethan Parker, Swalters 17, Jordan O'Boyle, Harther, Ewan Cassidy, and Mojo Franklin. If you don't want to shell out on merch, then hey, maybe consider joining these guys on my Patreon to give a little every month. That'd be quite not cringe, IMO. No tease for the next World's Worst review this time again, because yet again, I don't actually know what it is yet. But I will of course see you all sometime soon for another one of those things I do every so often that's a little bit different. So I hope you look forward to it.